everybody, look, it's a gorgeous night outside. So we took a break from the Mustang and we're taking a ride to Torino, aren't we, Bubba?
Yeah, no.
Where are we going, bud?
No.
We're going to Albertson's car show.
Yeah.
Yeah, that. So it is beautiful out here, man. Perfect weather. You got a long sleeve shirt on, Bubba.
No, I'm so cold. I got my blanket.
Oh yeah? Little blankie. Say bye, Boo Bear. Peace. What's up? Another gorgeous day, and the seam sealer is dry. So let's bust open the subframe connectors and take a look. Yeah, man, these are beefy. So again, these are Maximum Motorsports subframe connectors. You can see they're a really thick wall. Let's see if we can see the end of here. They're capped, but you can still see. So these are nice and thick. It comes with a really thick seat braces. That's going to tie the subframe connectors to the seat itself, so you're really going to feel the road after installing these. So there's not much to it. There is 2 bars with the flanges already welded on, and the seat braces and instructions. And you can see they come bare. I think you can get them painted. What's the point? You're going to have to grind off the paint to weld them anyways. Yeah, these are nice, man. Let's see, probably comes with some hardware in here too. Let's see what's in the bag. Yep, some seat bolts and 2 plates. I know these plates are welded into the right here where it's been bent for the curvature of the floor. Once these are fitted in, because you may have to bend these a little bit more or less depending on how your floor is. Hopefully, since we have new floors, these will fit really good, and these plates will weld up right against here to keep the strength of the bend so they doesn't buckle. Nice. Show you what we got going on here. So I've got it pressed right up against the subframe, and this has got, you know, tabs along both sides that fits right around the subframe here. So it's pressed up against it, and it's nice and tight all the way through here. So that's where that's going to need to go. However, there's the seat brace. We got a gap, and we got a gap to the back end. So it's not much of a gap. The instructions say you're going to have this. There's different ways. Obviously, you could put this in a press to straighten it out some more, or in our case, we can weld it up, tack it on the front and back here, put a jack on the back end, and then jack it up until it hits, you know, that gap goes away. Okay, so second problem I'm running into, I've got everything kind of pushed up against the floor and started marking it so I know where to grind off, but the seat floor brace that they provide is not lining up, and it's likely due to the floor replacement. That one's awfully close. That one's not. I mean, they're just going to have to be opened up a little bit to make holes. I mean, to make the make room for the bolts. So it looks like my floor pan might possibly be, you know, a little bit more this way, I guess, than the factory expects it to be. That whole car's freaking twisted, I don't know. So another problem is, here are the bolts they gave you. They gave you extended 10 mil bolts that you're supposed to screw through here with a seat on. They kind of expect you to have the seat on already. And then these kind of extend, and then you're supposed to bolt these loosely to the cross brace they provide. But the thread on these bolts is not working on my new pans. I mean, on my new seat braces. Now granted, these are new seat braces. That stops dead right there. Okay, here's another indicator that the bolts are actually correct. They just might be crap thread, and looks like they need to be, you know, driven through something and just cleaned up. Because the nuts they sent me do fit. Obviously, it fits theirs, but it fits the stock seat braces as well, and it goes right on. So these aren't even that much longer. In fact, they're not longer at all. Hold on, let me look at this. Yeah, so they say they give you longer bolts in the kit, but these aren't even longer than what I received with the LMR kit. So I'll probably use these guys. It turns out the threads are just kind of crap on the ones they sent me. I'm going to end up using the ones that LMR gave me in the seat kit because they do fit. So I've marked where the seat brace needs to be modified. I'll show you what I'm going to have to do. I guess everyone knows that doing this work, you got to take note. Obviously, these parts aren't always going to be perfectly fit, especially on a car that's 30 years old and it's moved and twisted and God knows what else. Especially if it's been wrecked. This one has not been wrecked, from what I can tell. But anyways, it fits really well. I'm surprised it fit as well as it does. But I'm going to have to modify the seat bracket to line up for the floor pans that I put in and line up to the holes to the seat. So I've taken it out here and I've kind of marked where I'm going to extend this hole to. So this one's going to be fine. Once it's drilled out, we'll widen it out so that it matches this guy. This side, however, since the whole thing has come this way, or the whole floor is moved that way, to compensate, we're going to cut this off here to extend this all the way out. Now, since we don't lose structural integrity, I'm going to take a, you know, probably a piece of this strap steel. Looks like it's about as thick as what's this made of. This is made of, and we'll cap it. So we'll weld that on. That way, it doesn't, you know, doesn't lose its structure and keeps its strength. Okay, here's the seat brace. So it has been capped off and expanded. So let's put this back up on the car. Alright. Okay, so the cross brace is now loosely bolted to the seat. So it's time we're going to start raising up the subframe connector. I want to go ahead and get the front on and tack it in. Apply a little bit more heat here and see if we can't get it to flatten out a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to bring the light back around over here, but you can see I've got the subframe connector positioned up front here, held in with the jack, and it's going through the cross brace, and you can kind of see the gap we've got to work with, which is right there. It's about 1/4 of an inch, or actually it's more than that, but maybe 3/4 of an inch of a gap. So what we're going to do is going to go ahead and tack it in here and up here. Make sure it's not moving at all. I'm going to apply a little more heat here, and we'll raise up the jack on this side and hope that it gets flush with this guy. And if it doesn't, it's not really that big of a deal. I mean, the worst case scenario, I can put a relief cut right here and just let it settle to the floor where it needs to be, and then you know, of course, weld the hell out of it, and then put the plate across it to reinforce it. So I mean, it's going to be strong either way, even after the relief cut. I'm not worried about that at all. So let's get some light over here and get the welding. Almost forgot, we need to protect the top metal of the frames from rusting. So to pull it back off, I'm going to throw a quick coat of chassis black on it and cover up the areas where I'm planning on welding. Okay, so this is stuff I had on the shelf. This stuff I'm going to use is just a semi-flat rust tough enamel. So anyways, it's supposed to be to help protect corrosion. It's not pore 15, but it's going to help protect the top of these guys while I put them on and weld them, and then I'll coat the underside of them with a good amount of pore 15 on it. Make sure it's nice and solid. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. That's too hot, by the way. I burned into the connector there, so. Look who's out of welding wire. You always run out the worst damn time. Son of a bitch. Okay. Back in business. Let's try this again. Okay, so I got a little bit of a nice booger welds back here. Yeah. Just welded up that seat brace. I'm gonna get the other side, and this guy is gonna be in. It is solid, man. Okay, so the welder or the driver's side is pretty well in. Went ahead and laid up the passenger side, and it fits much better. In fact, it's all the way up to the floor on both sides, and the seat brace fits as well, so I won't have to modify it. So I don't need to modify anything to get this side installed. However, on these Mustangs, you know that the fuel and brake lines run right along the areas I need to weld. So I've already pulled out this clamp. whenever I did the floorboards. So that's kind of been pulled out. I'm gonna have to pull out this one as well and try to get these lines separated. This is gonna be the biggest problem on this side, or the biggest, I guess, headache is gonna have to be working around these lines. But I don't know, it's cool. I mean, it fits. Seat brace is right up against the brackets, and there's a little bit of a gap there, but if I jack it up on that end, it goes to the floor without lifting the front. So this side is flush. So I'm gonna go ahead and mark it and start getting ready to take everything apart and grinding down the metal and separate the fuel lines. So once that's done, we'll be able to start getting this guy in on this side. Ended up getting my drill tool out because there's not enough room between the lines and the subframe to grind down the metal. So I've got my Dremel tool with a sanding disc on it, and you can see having to pull away the lines to get this back section up in bare metal. So the instructions show a later model Mustang with clips going down the floor here, and you can separate the lines, and they're not bundled like they are on this 86 model. So I've got to unscrew the brake line here and undo a rivet there, just so I can pull all this stuff down and out of the way. So you can see it's getting there. It's not quite clean. Kind of same with that. I got this section down to some pretty decent metal, and I've got the back ground down. So anyways, we're getting there. I'm trying to get some more metal here. This is gonna be fun to weld between, that's for sure. Okay, so I was able to weld around the fuel lines without killing myself. So got that bracket on, and the front one is welded on, the seat bracket on, and I got the other side of the back brace welded, and then I ran out of welding gas. So it's 11 o'clock at night, I can't get any more. So I'll have to go out in the morning, get some welding gas, and try to pull that metal down and weld it right there. So, but you can see from here that this other side welded the frame. So man, the subframe connectors are in. I'm gonna get these fuel lines kind of tidied back up. I've got to put the screw back on, kind of bend them in, put the original flange back in, and I'm gonna get my rivet gun and try to rip these to the floor. That'll get these solid to the floor, get the fuel lines out of the way. Alright, so it is midnight. Been out here like 6 hours. One of my neighbors came by and we found out why the AC wouldn't shut on. We got derailed. I get derailed pretty easily, get working on something. Somebody comes by and look at it, and we start going over all the little issues with the car, and next thing you know, we're looking at the wiring, tracing back to see why the AC doesn't turn on. The previous owner had a switch underneath the dash that when you flipped it on, the AC turned on. So I thought it's probably the low pressure switch, so we jumped it. That didn't make a difference. Turns out it's just the relay. We had to trace where the relay was. We found the relay, and the connections are corroded. And the relay, the wiring to the relay is getting 12 volts when the AC is turned on, but the relay is not clicking on, so it's not going to compressor on. So that's cool. I mean, we fixed that problem. I didn't fix it, but I just definitely found out what the problem was. And I've been down here riveting. I'm calling it a night. The subframe connectors are in, so I'm stoked. I'm always stoked, but I'm really stoked about this. And I'll be able to get the last weld on that tomorrow when I get my tank refilled on my MIG welder. So anyways, I got a mess of rivets here, and show you guys I got the fuel lines and brake lines tidied all back up in here with some new rivets. You can kind of see along the way here. So I got these guys riveted in, got the one riveted down there, and rivet there, there. So I still need to fix the clips that pushes up the fuel lines against the side of the rail. They're plastic and they've just kind of pushed out, but I'm gonna get those put back in with some new clips, and I'm about ready to call this floor done. I think tomorrow if I have time, and after I get this last welded in, I'm gonna put the port 15 on finally. But anyways, there's your subframe connectors. Got the other side there. Yep, I know I don't have a lift. It'd be a lot cooler if I did. But there you go. The Maximum Motorsport subframe connectors are installed, and I can't wait to drive this thing and see how much different it made it. Peace out.